Hello, my fellow HSA employees. My name is James Rodriguez, and I am your agency safety officer. And this is the first in what I hope to be a series of vlogs revolving around topics of safety, risk management, and one of my favorite topics, employee health and wellness. So I felt it appropriate for this first vlog to discuss what our safety culture is going to look like in a post-pandemic environment. I think a lot of the practices that we adopted during COVID are good practices that we probably should have been doing even before COVID, but we definitely need to continue to practice them after we're done with this pandemic. So I'd say the first one is good hygiene, right? Good hand washing. So for those of you that are out in the field doing site visits, please always make a habit of always washing your hands after a site visit. Yes, hand sanitizer is a good alternative if you cannot wash your hands, but for me, good old soap and water is the best way to clean your hands and ensure that you are not spreading disease among others and to yourself. The second piece with hand washing is please make sure you make a good habit of washing your hands after using the restroom. Not going to get into the details of that. However, I think we can all agree hand washing after using the restroom is just a good habit and probably something we all learned probably around kindergarten. So please continue to make that a good habit. Before eating is also a good time to wash your hands. If you eat, whether that be before lunchtime, if you eat snacks, or if you eat your breakfast in the office, please remember to wash your hands beforehand. And then obviously if you are doing something and you have soiled hands, also a good time to wash your hands. And as the practice goes, washing your hands thoroughly for a good 20 seconds. Lather on really helps kill and clean off any germs, whether they be viral or bacterial, off your hands. The other thing I wanted to talk about is coughing and sneezing etiquette. I think this is another simple thing that we can do and continue is coughing and sneezing etiquette. So coughing and sneezing into the elbow is much better than coughing and sneezing into the hand. I know that sometimes a sneeze or a cough sneaks up on you and it's just a reaction to cough into your hands. If you do that, just remember to wash your hands afterwards. It's, again, just a good habit of preventing, disease spread. The other thing I wanted to talk about was PPE use. So again, for those of you out doing site visits and in the field, please make sure you use the proper PPE for the scenario. Now, that doesn't mean you have to don everything, right? At least gloves and masks are a good habit to always use and to always have on hand is the proper PPE. So please continue to do that. If you have questions about that, we do have a PPE policy, and if you have further questions beyond the policy, feel free to reach out to me. But proper PPE use is very important. I know some of you go into environments that are very unhygienic, so again, just make sure you're using the proper PPE for the scenario. The other thing I want to discuss is if you are sick, please stay home. One of the key things that we've done is, well, everybody has done this, is using temperature checks as people come into the building. Now, I don't know, as of the making of this video, I don't know how long we're going to continue to do temperature checks. The reason for the temperature checks is fever. If you are having a fever, it is a symptom that greatly lends to the fact that you're still contagious. So if you have a fever, I think at some point we've all had a fever, and you know what a fever feels like. If you think you even have a low-grade fever, it's a high probability that you are contagious with whatever disease you might be fighting an infection with. So please, if you are sick, please call in, please stay home. If you have the option of telework, if you are sick, then those are things you can discuss with your supervisor. But again, please stay home if you feel you are contagious. And like I said, having a fever is definitely a symptom that shows you are probably still contagious. And keep in mind, these things aren't, we're still dealing with COVID, but COVID is not the only disease out there. There's viral and bacterial diseases that are all communicable. And so these are just good habits to maintain to prevent any of those diseases. And the last piece, and I'll cover this as we go through more vlogs, but self-care. Self-care is going to be very important. And as I said, I'll be covering things like sleep hygiene, stress management, just employee health and wellness. So self-care is a big piece of that. Keeping your immune system strong. For those of us that have to deal with chronic disease such as hypertension, diabetes, doing everything you can to manage those chronic diseases. But self-care is just going to be a big one for everybody. Good sleep hygiene, good diet, making sure you get some activity and exercise at least a couple of times a day, even if it's a walk, and then, like I said, managing chronic diseases. And of course, probably one of the biggest ones for all of us is stress management. We're all going to be dealing with stress, whether that be work, private, combination of both, whatever the case may be. Just dealing with stress management. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out to me. You can email me or email the HSA safety email address. And I hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for your time. Take care.